All right, fellas and lady, fellas and lady.
KJ and Joe were just talking about emphasis on playing faster in practice the last few days.
Yeah. Jalen helps us with that. You guys will be pleasantly surprised on how much faster we play with Jalen in the game, because his ability to push it's by far the best we have in transition. So from a speed standpoint, kind of puts pressure on everybody else to play a little faster too. So yeah, we'd like to play faster, but the biggest thing is I think our emphasis has been our half court defense as much as anything. And I wish I could say it's getting better. I'm not sure that it is yet, but I think guys are getting a little bit more comfortable though.
Was Jalen that way last year, or has he taken strides in there?
I think he was that way last year, but we didn't know to the extent that he could do it probably. I think he probably wanted to, but he's worked at it really hard this past. He told me during the offseason he worked at it pretty hard. So, but he's really good at bringing it, guys. Right up there with some of the best that we've ever had. So I think he'll definitely make us run and make us play faster.
And grab it and go.
Yeah, he averaged 8 rebounds a game last year, and probably 6 of those would be defensive, at least. So that's 6, fast break opportunities we may not have gotten. I mean, if it was the same stats this year, that's probably 6 more times we have a chance to run that maybe we wouldn't have had a chance. So
when you mentioned last night, being more concerned with yourself than maybe opponents at this point, is that what you're referencing? How from defense and playing faster?
Yeah, well, the way that we do it, and I think it's the way most people do it. You don't practice for the next team every single day if you have a week off. You practice on yourself, and then of course you're going to have your scout days and whatnot, just like we will today and we did yesterday. But the emphasis will be after this game, not working on North Texas from Friday to Thursday, be working on us, and then obviously North Texas would be the emphasis probably on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I think that's pretty consistent the way people do it. So yeah, that's what I would say. We're just working on ways that we can get better.
It's only been 2 games, but Dave's kind of gotten off to a little bit of a slow start. It's kind of similar from the start he had last year. I guess kind of what might be the reason for a slow start, and what can he do to kind of get back to where he was at the end of last season?
I actually don't agree with you. I think that he got off to a very slow start against Michigan State. The other day, he played pretty good, blocked 5 shots, active. The way that they played, you weren't going to score inside, and they swarmed him and things like that. So I actually thought David played pretty well against Tarleton. So now against Michigan State, not his best, but I thought he responded pretty well. I think so many times people equate playing well with numbers, and in some cases that is true. In some cases that is true, but David impacted that game the other day in a big way, probably as positively as I thought he possibly could going into with the matchup that he had.
Bill One has stats that you don't conventionally see with steals, assists, and all that. Does he remind you of any past player? I've heard that, in the summer pickup games, his team would always win.
Always win. Even in practice situations. I think that in our first 10 quarters of scrimmaging, his team was 10-0. So
why is
that? I think he's got great feel. I think guys like playing with him. I think he makes the game easier for others. I think he probably understands more how to play than a lot of other guys do. But I don't think that he's shown yet what a good player he is. I thought against Michigan State, he's pretty darn solid. I didn't think the other night he played near that well. He needs to be. He's not going to take a ton of chances. So, like, we have a better chance to get a shot every possession if he's that team's point guard. But somebody else can be the guy to score the ball or do something that gives the appearance that guy that maybe he's outplaying him. The guy that's playing against him in 3 possessions could have 6 points and one have 0 and one still totally control the game. He's one of those kind of guys. But I think there's a consistency factor that he's got to improve in and take better care of the basketball. I saw some carelessness here of late, and we've talked about it, but he's just a good basketball player. He's not going to jump off the page at anybody, but you're just going to look up at the end of the day and just say, God, they're just better with him on the court, you know.
Have you had any like him or that fit that description?
I would say yes. You know, we were better with Wiggins on the court too.
Yeah,
We were better with Embiid on the court too.
you know,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Somebody that can make a team a lot better without scoring the ball. You can maybe make a case for Relaford like that a little bit. And I'm just going off memory here, so this is off the top of my head. Positively make a case for Aaron Miles. You know, positively, maybe more so than any other guard we had. You know, whether Aaron scored 2 points or 16 points makes no difference. You know, he just need to be out there. You guys could probably help me out. Yeah, Russell. Yeah, Russell's a good call. Russell's a really good call, Chris. You know, I told our team this, the best high school player I believe that we've recruited still is Sharon Collins. And he didn't start because Russell, the team was just really good when Russell was in the game. But it wasn't because Sharon did anything wrong. Sharon, as you guys remember, he broke his foot. And so we got on a roll. So Sharon just kind of settled into that 6-man role, which was perfect for our team, as opposed to maybe Sharon starting and Russell not. But Russell was one of those kids that no matter what, God dang, there's just a security blanket out there when he was in the game. That's a good call, Chris.
Because you have so many good players, do you envision, and your trust for DeJuan, do you envision him starting on you?
I don't know. I think a lot depends on when Jalen comes back. The guy, you know, I think if we're hung up on who starts, like you guys can be and fans can be, then it might could be an issue. But I see minutes being pretty much consistent regardless. You know, if Jalen comes back and starts, which he could, but the bottom line is that to me that's not a guarantee. You know, because he kind of put himself in this position, so it's not a guarantee. So if the team's rolling, which who knows if we would be, you know, maybe Jalen's better coming off the bench. But I anticipate Jalen being a 30-minute a game guy, regardless of what the role is. And I will say this about DeJuan. One thing I have noticed is sometimes less is more. He's not a 35-minute a game guy. His body will wear down. He needs to be a 25 to 28-minute a game guy probably, and he'll be more productive in those minutes. Just because I think over a course of 6 months, I think his body could wear down.
What have you seen from Stony Brook? Any similarities to Tarleton State this past Friday?
I think they're better than Tarleton offensively for sure. Better individual players. You know, they had a kid that averaged 10 last year at Miami. Their leading scorer. It really looks like a offensive, really good player. I mean, they got some guys coming back from last year, and then with the transfers they added, I don't know how many they added, but 2 or 3 key ones. They're picked to win their league. So I would say I think they got 5 out of the 9 votes to win their league. So I would say that they're definitely more talented than Tarleton. But Tarleton to me just plays so ridiculously hard. I guess they gave Wichita State a pretty good game. When I say pretty good, I guess it was 12 or 14, but still though that's what they do. They just play so hard. And I think Stony Brook has better players.
What do you want to see from that game then, with those two being at least somewhat similar? I mean,
Well, they're going to be small. If you're talking about similarities, that is one similarity. They're going to be small like that. So our big guys are going to have to chase around 6'5".
Yeah.
So that you're right to that point. You know what I would say, you know, the other night when we played them, I watched the tape. We didn't play great. We didn't play awful either. It was it's bad matchups. You know, they just play to whoever our 5-man, David or Mitch's guard, and they can catch it, drive it, or do whatever. And you kind of hope they miss when they do that. And hopefully we'll be better defensively where we can actually guard them and not hope they miss. But we kind of hope they missed the other day.
How was Jalen handled being out of the lineup?
Well, he's been great. He's been great. He's works just as hard. I was in here the other day and just walking through the gym. And he's down there on his own, running sprints on his own and everything. He's been great. He's been great with the scout team. He's been terrific. So after I'm really impressed with him. But after this particular game, then it will go back to being normal. But it won't be normal, obviously, till after this game.
How is Jalen Coleman lands his toe today?
He hurt it yesterday, but just but he hopefully can practice today. But he makes really good progress, and I mean it's not like you need to set him out because in basketball there's a chance somebody can step on your toe at any time. I mean it's not like it's keeping him from practice, but when it does happen, it's painful enough that it could knock him out of practice or do whatever for the rest of the day, which is what happened yesterday. But he's been good. He's been good. That's another thing. I told him this the other day. I said, I know I'm on your butt. And I know those things, but I also know one other thing, that I promise you I notice in that you haven't complained one time. You don't mope around. We know you're not 100%. You're probably at 80%. And you get treatment all the time. You do everything you're supposed to do. And to me, that's a form of maturity and toughness. So I see it, but it still hasn't allowed him to be who he is yet.
You mentioned yesterday that Jalen had a cracked toe. What exactly is a cracked toe?
Well, I'm not a medical doctor. You don't think that's the medical definition of did you look it up on the internet what it was? So you Google cracked toe. He has a bone in his toe that is cracked. But
And that's the same injury throughout. I mean,
that's been the same one throughout. Yeah,
Which toe?
it's a big toe. It's big, so you got a 50% chance of guessing which one because I don't know. So I just know it's a big toe.
Did you watch the Texas game?
No, I did not. I was recruited, so I did not see it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks.